Hello everyone. Right now we're gonna practice a simulation of a real customer. So let's think of this Apple, a customer that would like to do its entire top of the head. So we're gonna divide it in four pieces. So we're gonna make for this customer three appointments, and they're gonna be 2 hours each. So in the first appointment, we're gonna be working for 2 hours. So since it's divided by four, we're gonna spend 30 minutes on each margin. So now we can begin with the first quarter. So let's suppose now that this is 30 minutes, and then now we move on to the next quarter of it. So by doing this, we're doing the same density on the other side for 30 minutes. So it would equal to the first quarter that we did. So now we keep going, and then we can do the third quarter. And then we do another 30 minutes on the very last one. So let's suppose we did 2 hours of work. And since this is a big zone, it's going to require two other appointments. So let's suppose 2 weeks have passed, and then now we can add more density to each other quarters that we have to work on. So in the second appointment that the customer comes, we're just going to add more density, which means we're going to add more hair follicles, more dots, so that it will be more full and more realistic. So we divide the time, if it's four parts that we're doing, or the entire top of the head, we divide it by four, and we just spend 30 minutes on each side. So that way we have more control and time of how many hair follicles we're doing. So we just keep working like that for another 30 minutes, until we are finished for 2 hours on that one sitting. So now it's up to the customer. The customer is satisfied with that density, then that's good. If not, we can add another appointment, for a third appointment, a third seating. So that way we can create more hair follicles and more density to the shaved look. So just remember, it is advisable to wait at least 2 weeks for the next appointment for your customer. So that way, when your customer comes, everything will be healed up, and it will be ready to be worked. So yeah, on the third seating, all we're doing is making sure that the customer is satisfied with the density of the hair follicles, the way it looks. And yeah, it's recommendable to work in an area that's already been healed. That way you can check also on your work to see if you have any dots that's been blown out, and that way you can be more in charge of how the healing works and everything. So yeah, in this case we choose 30 minutes. You can choose more time to work in an area, but it's up to you, and that's up to the size of the area too. But 30 minutes is good to work in each area. Of course, it depends on the area that you're working on too. So that way we can give the customer more density and a more realistic effect. So now the customer has an even density on all the head. So it all looks, like natural and organic. So by charging by time, you're more in control of how much money you're going to be making. And with more practice, you'll be able to tell the customer straight up the total cost and how many appointments your customer will need to cover, the section that they want to be done. So this is a very simple illustration to show you a way to work more efficient and to be more in control of how much time you're working per area, so that it'll be even with the other areas. And just make sure that the entire area that's being worked has the same density. Just make sure that one area doesn't have more hair follicles than the other, because it'll be a very noticeable mistake that you could make.